It was a quiet night in a small town near the forest. The sky was clear, and the stars looked like tiny lights in the dark. Jack, a 23-year-old human boy, was working in his small garage. He loved machines, science, and fixing things. He was smart, but he didn't have many friends. He liked to be alone. Suddenly, a bright flash lit up the sky. It wasn't a normal light. It looked like a falling star, but it was too close, too fast, and glowing green. Jack dropped his tools and ran outside. The light crashed deep into the forest with a loud boom. The ground shook a little. Birds flew away, and dogs started barking. Jack's heart started racing. "That wasn't a meteor," he whispered. He grabbed his flashlight, put on his jacket, and ran toward the forest. He didn't know what he was going to find, but he felt something strange. It was like the night had changed. Something big had just happened. The forest was dark and quiet, but Jack kept walking. After 10 minutes, he saw smoke. Trees were burning slightly. Then, through the trees, he saw something shiny, like metal but not human-made. It was a pod, shaped like a teardrop, half buried in the ground. The surface was glowing softly. Jack walked closer. The door of the pod opened with a slow hiss. Smoke came out, and the lights inside turned blue. Then he saw her. A girl. Not a human girl, but something different. She looked almost human. Her skin had a soft silver glow, and her long hair moved like it was underwater. Her eyes were bright purple. She looked weak, like she was hurt. Jack froze. His mind screamed to run, but his heart told him to help. She looked at him, scared but calm. "Please, help me," she said, in perfect English, but with a strange soft voice. Jack stepped forward slowly. "Who are you?" "I don't have time. They will come soon. I need to hide." She tried to stand but fell. Jack caught her. "I'm Jack," he said quickly. "I'll help you. Come with me." He helped her out of the pod. Her body was light, too light, like she wasn't made for Earth's gravity. He wrapped his jacket around her and led her through the forest, back to his garage. Inside the garage, he laid her down on a soft blanket. She looked around, confused but safe. Jack gave her water. She didn't drink at first, then slowly took a sip. "My name is Lyra," she said. "Where are you from?" Jack asked. "Far. Another star. I was escaping, but they followed me." Jack didn't know if he was dreaming. Was this real? Was this girl truly an alien? He looked into her eyes. They were beautiful and scared. "Why did you come here?" he asked. "I didn't want to be part of my father's war. I don't want to hurt people. I just wanted to be free." Jack didn't understand everything, but he understood fear, and he saw the truth in her eyes. "You can stay here. I'll protect you," he said. Lyra smiled, weak but thankful. "You are kind. That's rare." Over the next few hours, Jack tried to fix some of her wounds. Her skin healed fast. She told him more about her world. Her father was a powerful war leader in the galaxy. She had run away from him. Jack felt something strange in his heart. This wasn't just about helping a stranger. He liked her. He was falling for her slowly. Her smile, her voice, even her sadness. He wanted to be near her. But outside the garage something moved. A small drone, hidden in the dark, floated quietly near the window. It had been watching everything. It sent a signal back through space. Far away, in a giant spaceship, a tall alien with burning red eyes watched the screen. His armor was heavy, his face cold. "My daughter has found a human," he said with disgust. He turned to his soldiers. "Send the hunters, and prepare the message." Back on Earth, Jack gave Lyra a blanket and sat near her. "You'll be safe now," he said. But Lyra looked up, her eyes suddenly full of fear. "No," she whispered. "He knows." The night was quiet again, but it didn't feel the same. Jack couldn't sleep. He sat on a stool in his garage, watching Lyra as she rested. She looked peaceful now, but he knew something was coming. Her words kept repeating in his mind. "He knows." Suddenly, Jack's phone buzzed. The screen flickered. All the lights in the garage blinked for a second, then turned red. His phone screen turned black. Then a face appeared. Not a human face. It was an alien, tall, cold, with metal armor covering half his body. His eyes glowed like fire, and his voice was deep like thunder. Human, you touched what does not belong to you. Jack froze. You have found my daughter. Her name is Lyra of the Valorian Empire. She is not your friend. She is my property. Jack's hands started shaking, but he didn't look away. The alien leaned closer to the camera. Leave her, or I will come for you. The screen went black. Jack stood up quickly. Lyra was already awake, her face pale. You saw him? She asked quietly. Jack nodded. Your father. Lyra looked down. Commander Vorn, Supreme General of the Eastern Star Armies. He doesn't forgive. He doesn't forget. Jack laughed nervously, trying to hide his fear. Cool. So, your dad's like a space Darth Vader. Lyra didn't smile. He's worse. Outside, the air felt heavier. A small, strange sound echoed in the distance. Like a whistle, but not from this world. Jack ran to the garage door and peeked out. The sky looked normal, but something was off. Felt like they were being watched. Pack your things, Lyra said. We have to move. Move? Where? There's a hidden alien base in the mountains. Old and used. It has shields. He can't track us there. Jack looked around his messy garage, then at Lyra. I'll go with you, he said. Lyra stepped closer. You don't have to. You're just a human. Jack smiled. Yeah, but humans are stubborn. They left before sunrise. Jack drove his old truck into the hills, following Lyra's directions. The road was broken and wild. Trees covered the path, and strange blue sparks flickered in the sky above. Lyra looked up. His hunters are here. What kind of hunters? She pointed. Watch. A dark shadow flew across the sky. It wasn't a plane. It was faster, silent, and shaped like a stingray. The ship hovered for a second, scanning the forest, then vanished into the clouds. Jack gripped the steering wheel tighter. We're not safe, Lyra said. He sent his blood seekers. Great, Jack muttered. Aliens with a cool name and laser guns. They reached an old, broken road that led to a rocky hill. Lyra guided Jack through a narrow trail hidden by trees. Finally, they reached a large stone wall covered in moss. She placed her hand on a small spot. A blue light blinked. The wall opened slowly, revealing a dark tunnel. Inside, the air was cool and metallic. The walls had alien markings. Blue lights turned on as they walked deeper. Jack looked around in awe. This place is like a spaceship buried in a mountain. It is, Lyra said. It crashed here years ago. Now it's dead. But the signal blockers still work. They reached a small control room. Lyra turned on a screen. We can stay here for now. He can't find us while the shields are up. Jack sat down, finally breathing again. But the peace didn't last long. Back in space, inside a huge warship, Commander Vorn stared at a screen showing Earth. She runs, he said. Let her. He turned to a soldier. Send a message. To Earth. To the boy. A metal drone flew out of the ship, glowing red. It vanished into hyperspace. Back in the mountain base, Jack found a small box near the control panel. It was glowing. Hey, Lyra, is this yours? She turned and her face went pale. No, don't touch it. But Jack had already opened it. A hologram appeared. Vorn's voice echoed through the room. You made your choice, human. You hide her. You protect her. Then prove yourself. The message continued. You will not be killed. You will be tested. You will be taken. Suddenly, a beam of light shot out of the box. Jack screamed as the light wrapped around him. Lyra tried to reach him, but it was too late. Jack disappeared. Gone. Lyra fell to her knees, her hands shaking. No! Darkness. That's all Jack could see. No sky. No light. Just silence. And cold air touching his skin like ice. Then suddenly his body dropped. He landed hard on something metal. The ground glowed faint blue under him. Jack groaned and sat up. He was no longer on Earth. Around him was a giant hall with tall silver walls, strange lights, and machines floating in the air. Alien soldiers stood in lines, tall, powerful, wearing black armor. None of them looked friendly. A loud mechanical voice echoed. New recruit. Species human. Earthborn. Weak. Untrained. Jack stood slowly. I'm not weak, he muttered. A loud laugh shook the room. A large figure walked forward, metal armor glowing red, eyes like fire. Commander Vorn. He stood above Jack, tall as a monster, looking down with disgust. You want to protect my daughter? Vorn said. Then you will fight. You will learn. You will suffer. Jack clenched his fists. Where's Lyra? Vorn didn't answer. He threw a small device at Jack's feet. It opened, showing two choices. Go back to Earth. Forget Lyra forever. Join the alien army. Survive the trials. Earn your place. Jack looked up. You can't decide who she loves. Vorn's eyes glowed brighter. This is not love. This is war. Without thinking, Jack touched the second option. The room lit up. A steel door opened, and two large guards grabbed Jack by the arms. Vorn turned his back. Let's see how long a human can last. Jack was thrown into a cold room with other recruits. Aliens from different planets. Some had wings, some had scales, one had forearms. They all stared at Jack like he didn't belong. A voice echoed from above. Welcome to the death trials. Only the strong survive. The rest become history. The next morning, they were dropped into a jungle. Alien trees, red skies, and strange creatures crawling on the ground. Jack had no weapons, no tools, nothing. A siren rang. The trial had begun. Jack ran. Loud growls came from behind. He saw a giant beast with glowing teeth chasing a group of recruits. One was eaten in seconds. He climbed a tree. His branches moved like snakes trying to grab him. He jumped down and rolled into mud. His heart pounded. His legs hurt. His body was shaking. But he didn't stop. He remembered Lyra's face, her eyes, her voice. I'll protect you, he whispered to himself. Hours passed. The sun never moved. Jack was hungry, tired, and alone. Then he heard a sound, footsteps. He grabbed a sharp stick and got ready. A figure stepped out of the shadows. Tall, hooded, silent. Jack pointed the stick. Stay back. The figure pulled down the hood. It was Lyra. Jack's eyes widened. What, how? She smiled weakly. I broke every rule to find you. Jack dropped the stick. You could be killed. So could you, she said. She helped him stand and gave him a small food pack. I can't take this, Jack said. You have to. You need to survive. My father won't stop until you break. Jack took the food and looked into her eyes. I won't break. Suddenly, a voice boomed from the sky. Treason. Unauthorized contact. Recruit Jack will now face the next trial alone. The ground shook. Lyra stepped back. I'm sorry. A beam of light pulled her away. Jack screamed. No! Then the trees opened. A new path appeared, dark, dangerous. Jack looked ahead. He had no armor, no team, no plan. Just love and fury. He stepped forward. Everything was silent. No birds. No wind. No voices. Just Jack, alone, standing at the edge of a massive alien arena. The ground was cracked. Smoke rose from burning rocks. Strange machines floated in the sky, watching. On the other side of the field stood three huge alien warriors, twice Jack's size. Their skin was like stone. Their eyes glowed orange. Above him, a voice boomed from hidden speakers. Trial 2. Prove your strength. Win or be erased. Jack took a deep breath. His hands were shaking. He had no weapons, no armor, only the clothes on his back and a sharp piece of metal he found in the mud. A countdown started. 3, 2, 1. The aliens charged. Jack ran, not away but toward them. He slid under the first giant's legs, rolled to the side, and stabbed one in the foot. It roared in pain. Another alien swung its fist. Jack ducked, just barely, and the punch smashed a boulder instead. He couldn't win with power. He had to use speed. And his brain. He noticed steam vents on the battlefield, hot air bursting up every few seconds. He had an idea. He led the aliens toward the vents. One followed him blindly, and just as the steam blasted upward, Jack leaped away. The blast hit the alien full force, sending it flying. One down, two left, but Jack was tired. His chest was burning. He had cuts on his arm. The second alien grabbed him by the neck and lifted him off the ground. Jack gasped for air. He was losing. Suddenly, something moved in the shadows. A stone hit the alien's head. It dropped Jack and looked around angrily. Jack crawled to safety. Then he saw the person hiding behind the rock. It wasn't Lyra. It was someone else. An alien recruit. Smaller, hooded, quiet. They gave Jack a signal, "Follow me." Jack didn't think twice. The hooded figure led him through a small crack in the wall, into a hidden tunnel under the arena. There, lights blinked, and machines whirred. The stranger finally removed their hood. She was young, maybe 18 in human years. Pale green skin, blue hair, sharp eyes. "My name is Sorry," she said. "I've seen you fight. You're smarter than most." "Thanks," Jack said, coughing. "You just saved me." "I didn't do it for you," Sorry replied. "I hate Vorn more than you do." Jack's eyes narrowed. "You know him?" She nodded. "He destroyed my planet, my family. Now I'm forced to train in his army. Just like you." Jack sat down. "I didn't ask for this." "No one does," Sorry said. "But now that you're here, you either survive or disappear." Suddenly, alarms rang. "Unauthorized escape," the voice shouted. "Return the recruit, or face punishment." Sorry grabbed a small cube from her belt. "I have a plan, but we need to move now." They climbed back into the arena through a different tunnel. The two remaining alien warriors were searching for Jack. Sorry threw a flash bomb into the center. Boom! Smoke filled the air. Jack jumped out and used the distraction to tackle one alien from behind, wrapping wire around its legs. Crashed to the ground. Sorry aimed a small dart gun and shot the last one in the neck. It roared and then collapsed. Silence again. The smoke cleared. Jack and Sorry stood in the center. The floating machines scanned the scene. Then a voice echoed. "Trial passed. Human continues." Back in the control room of the warship, Commander Vorn watched the footage with cold eyes. A soldier turned to him. "He should not have survived." Vorn replied, his voice low and sharp. "He didn't survive. He adapted. That is worse." Later, Jack sat beside a fire in a metal cell with Sorry beside him. She handed him a strange-looking fruit. "What now?" Jack asked. Sorry looked at the stars through the metal bars. "Now we wait for the next trial. Or a way out." Jack stared at the sky too. Somewhere out there, Lyra was watching, maybe crying, maybe fighting her own battle. He clenched his fist. "I'm not just going to survive," he said. "I'm going to win. I'm going to make it back to her." Sorry smirked. "Then you better get stronger, because the next trial is no game." It had been 5 days since the last trial. Jack's body was healing, but his mind wasn't. The alien army base was cold, gray, and full of secrets. Every hallway looked the same. Soldiers didn't speak unless ordered. Cameras followed every step. But Jack was thinking only of one thing. Lyra. Where was she now? Was she safe? Did she even know he was still alive? Each night, Jack returned to his assigned cell. More like a metal box, with no windows, just a small table and a thin bed. He wasn't alone anymore. Sorry, his unexpected ally, was now his shadow, watching his back, teaching him how to move through the system without being noticed. But one night, something strange happened. As Jack entered his cell, the lights flickered. Again, and again. 3 flickers, then a pause, then 3 more. "Sorry," Jack whispered. "That's not random. That's Morse code." Sorry raised an eyebrow. "Morse what?" "Earth language," Jack said. "Old signal system. Someone's trying to say something." He moved to the corner and watched the flickering light carefully. It blinked in patterns. Lyra. Jack's heart nearly stopped. "It's her," he whispered. She's alive. The light flickered again. Meet me in the East Wing. Midnight. That night, Jack waited until the guards passed by. Then he and Sari slipped into the shadows. The East Wing of the base was off limits. It was darker, older, and filled with broken tech. Sari led the way, silent and fast. You sure this isn't a trap? She asked. Jack nodded. Even if it is, I have to know. They reached a locked door. Jack typed a few codes he had seen a guard use earlier. The door slid open with a creak. Inside it was pitch dark. Then a voice came from the shadows. Jack! Jack turned. Lyra stepped forward from behind a wall, her eyes full of emotion, her silver hair tied back. She wore a plain black uniform, not a prisoner, not a soldier. Something in between. Jack rushed to her, but she stopped him. There's no time, she said. This place is listening. She handed him a small cube, like a tiny glowing heart. This contains the truth, she said. Everything about my father's plan. The war, the experiments, the reason I ran away. Jack looked at the cube. Why give it to me? Because you're the only one who believes in peace, Lyra said. And because I still believe in you. Suddenly, a loud alarm echoed through the base. Unauthorized movement detected. Lights turned red. Sari looked around. They found us. Lyra grabbed Jack's hand. There's a hidden tunnel under this floor. Take the cube. Get out. What about you? Jack asked. I'll buy you time. Before Jack could protest, Lyra pushed him toward the back wall. Sari pressed a panel and a trapdoor opened. A dark slide led downward. Jack looked back one last time. I'll come back for you. Lyra smiled sadly. You always say that. Then she turned and ran into the darkness. Jack and Sari slid down the tunnel as doors slammed above them. They landed in a deep underground chamber, silent, empty. Jack held the cube tightly. He pressed it. A hologram appeared. Not Lyra, not Vorn, but a secret lab. Deep inside the alien base. Hundreds of human bodies, frozen in glass tanks. Sari gasped. What is this? Jack stepped closer. They've been taking humans. For years. Testing them. Changing them. A second file opened, Vorn's voice this time. The human race has potential. Strong hearts. Weak minds. Easy to control once broken. Jack's face turned pale. This wasn't just about him and Lyra. This was a war against Earth. Against all humans. Sari whispered. If this gets out, he'll kill us both. Jack looked up at the ceiling. No, he won't get the chance. The truth was now burning in Jack's hands. The cube Lyra had given him still glowed faintly, like a beating heart. Inside it, proof that Vorn was experimenting on humans. Stealing lives, building something terrible. Jack and Sari stood in the deep tunnels below the alien army base, surrounded by silence and fear. What do we do now? Sari asked. Jack looked at the cube. We show the galaxy what Vorn really is. But first, they had to survive. They made their way back up through a hidden service duct, staying low, avoiding cameras. Sari knew secret paths. She had grown up in these walls. Every hallway now felt colder. Every shadow sharper. Jack's mind was racing. He kept hearing Lyra's last words. I'll buy you time. But something didn't feel right. Why would Vorn let Lyra move freely? Why was she allowed near restricted areas? And why did she stop him from hugging her? That night, they reached an old signal tower deep inside the base. Jack set up the cube, connected it to the transmitter. This message will go out to every rebel frequency, he said. The truth will spread. They'll see what's really happening. Sari nodded. Once you send it, there's no going back. Jack pushed the button. Nothing happened. The screen blinked red. Signal blocked. Sari's eyes narrowed. That's impossible. A slow, heavy clapping echoed through the chamber. They turned. Commander Vorn stood at the entrance. And beside him, Lyra. Jack froze. Lyra? He whispered. She didn't meet his eyes. Vorn smiled darkly. Love makes you blind, boy. I knew you'd try to be a hero. Jack took a step back. She gave me the cube. She helped me escape. Lyra looked up, finally speaking. Her voice was quiet, cold. No, Jack. I let you escape. The words hit him like a punch. You lied. I had no choice, she said. My father, he promised to spare Earth if I brought the cube back. If I brought you back. Jack's heart sank. Vorn stepped forward. She never betrayed you. You betrayed yourself. Thinking a human could matter to us. Jack felt like the floor was falling. Everything, every moment, every word. They felt like glass, cracking fast. Sorry whispered. We need to run. But Jack didn't move. He looked into Lyra's eyes. Was any of it real? She didn't answer. That silence was louder than any scream. Vorn raised his hand. Guards stormed in. Jack grabbed the cube and ran. Blasters fired. Sparks flew. Smoke filled the air. Sari pulled Jack into a side tunnel. They ran fast, deeper, twisting through metal corridors. Behind them, alarms rang. Footsteps chased them. Voices shouted. They reached an old maintenance lift. Sari hit the button. It didn't move. Come on, she yelled. Jack stared at the cube. Then he stared at the ceiling. Lyra betrayed him. But maybe, just maybe, she was protecting him in her own way. The lift started moving. Slow, loud, too loud. A red light blinked. Tracker activated. Sari's eyes widened. She marked you. Jack looked at his jacket. Inside the collar, tiny alien tech glowing blue. She tagged me like an animal, he said. No, like a threat, Sari replied. Vorn's going to use you. Maybe for war. Maybe worse. The lift stopped. They were on a lower deck now. Old, empty, and waiting for them, another soldier. But this one wasn't attacking. He stepped forward, removed his helmet. Human, older, scarred, worn eyes. You must be Jack, he said. Jack stepped back. Who are you? Name's Riven. I've been trapped here for years. Escaped the labs. Thought I was the last Earthborn left. Jack showed him the cube. Riven nodded. Then you've seen it too. We have to stop him, Jack said. Before he starts a war. Riven smiled. Then it's time you learned the truth about Project Titan. Jack had seen war now. But this was something else. Deep inside the forgotten level of the alien warbase, Jack stood in front of Riven, the last surviving human soldier held prisoner here. Around them, the walls were filled with old files, broken machines, and holograms blinking quietly. Dust floated in the air. History buried. And then the name came up again. Project Titan. Jack asked, "What is it?" Riven looked him straight in the eye. "It's not a weapon. It's you." Years ago, Vorn had found Earth. Not for conquest, but for DNA. He believed that humans, when pushed far enough, could evolve. Become something new. Something powerful. Titans. Lyra was never just escaping. She was watching. Testing. And when Jack survived the trials, he passed the test. Vorn wanted a human who could survive any war, Riven said. You were the final piece. Jack felt cold inside. So all of this was planned? Maybe not all, Riven said. But enough. Suddenly, a tremor shook the floor. Outside, the sky was glowing red. Vorn had activated his war fleet. 10 alien ships, weapons locked, pointed at Earth. Time had run out. Jack stood, holding the cube in one hand, and rage in the other. Then I'll give him a war he didn't plan for. The final battle wasn't on the ground. It was in space. With help from Sari and Riven, Jack broke into the hangar and stole a ship. Not just any ship, a forgotten prototype built for elite Valorian generals. Fast, armed, invisible to most scanners. They blasted off, heading toward the command ship, where Vorn was preparing to launch the final strike. Inside that ship was Lyra. Jack wasn't sure if she was still the girl he knew, or just another soldier now. They broke through enemy lines. Inside the ship, chaos exploded. Jack fought his way through soldiers with Riven and Sari at his side. Flash grenades, pulse weapons, close calls. Then, finally, the throne room. Vorn stood tall in the center, staring at Earth on a giant screen. His hand hovered over the fire command. Jack entered, bruised, breathing hard. Vorn turned. The human titan returns. You wanted to break me, Jack said. But I learned how to fight. Vorn laughed. And still, you lost the girl. Jack clenched his jaw. Did I? Behind Vorn, another door opened. Lyra, wearing her black command uniform. Expression unreadable. Jack's heart skipped. Lyra, he said. Choose. Vorn held out his hand. Daughter, come. Fire the weapon. Prove your loyalty. Jack stepped forward. Or end this. Right here. Silence. Lyra looked between them. Her eyes locked with Jack's. And then, she turned her blaster on her father. I choose peace. What followed wasn't just a fight. It was war collapsing from the inside. Vorn tried to strike Lyra, but Jack blocked him. Sorry disabled the control system. Riven hacked the power grid. Jack and Vorn fought. Fists, blades, pain, history. And finally, Jack stood over the broken general. Breathing hard, weapon in hand. He could end it, but he didn't. No more death, Jack said. Lyra stepped forward and activated the command override. The weapon systems powering the fleet shut down. Earth was safe. Later, as the smoke cleared and rebel forces took over the ship, Jack stood on the deck, staring at the blue planet below. Home. Lyra walked beside him. I thought I'd lost you, he said. You never had to find me, she replied. You just had to remind me who I was. He smiled, quietly. Riven nodded. You did what no one else could. You changed her. You changed him. And maybe, you changed this galaxy. Jack returned to Earth, not as a hero but as a warning. Humans weren't weak. They weren't just test subjects, or pawns in alien games. They were fighters. And Jack was proof.